How's it going, everybody? So, hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty windy out today, but you should be able to hear me anyways. So, what I'm going to talk about on here, I kind of mentioned it in the last video of what I would love the sport to do, and I'm not going to go too far in depth with rear-wheel drive stuff. I've never ran in it, but I know it's huge, but the car count nowadays is just lacking. Really sucks. I hope people build more cars so they can continue that part, so we can still have that class. But as of today, I'm not going to talk about that. It's kind of dying out, like I said, which really sucks. So if it were to officially die out, or in the meantime, since it kind of is dying out, I would like this class to be added to what we do here. So you have your stock class cars. Technically, I'll kind of explain a little bit. So a stock built car, brand new car, bust the windows and everything out of it, chain the door shut, put your bar on, put your safety equipment on the inside that you need, move the battery, chain everything shut, zip or chain everything, seat belt it, or 9-wire it shut, and pretty much that's the gist of everything. Roll bar and all that type of stuff. So with this car, let's say we built this one. In theory, it's the same as this one. This one's been ran before. It's had one season on it, which honestly I think it's only had 3 or 4 races on it. It's starting to bend, it's starting to break, it's got some problems, but we can still fix this car in particular and continue to run stock class, no problem. This car in particular is where I have my issues and where I would like a new class to be added, and we can go over rules, or someone can add rules, or whatever, however you want to do it. This is my opinion, so we're going to try to go over what I think we should do if we're going to add another class. So it depends on where you race. Here in Michigan, there's 2 or 3 different main promoters. What I'm specifically going to talk about is the one that I run, which is USA. This is what passed last season, even though I think I kind of skipped by in inspections, but nonetheless, I guess here we go. So this car technically is illegal. Couple different reasons. One reason I'm not going to talk about. The main reason for this one is the exhaust that's on it, which I don't really think you can see. Not really. Either way, this has a header on it. In my opinion, for stock class, whether you have an upright header, a down header, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the cool factor, the noise, the whatever. I've been doing this a long time. I don't believe changing your exhaust and modifying your exhaust does anything to help you horsepower wise and to give you an edge. If I ran a stock class and somebody pulled out with a header through the hood, more power to them. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. So a lot of times we find these cars, such as this one when I got it, somebody stole the cats, or they're going to scrap the car, so they cut the cats off, and they didn't care how they did it, and they just chopped it off in the worst spot possible. This car in particular had the exhaust manifold, exhaust manifold, the cat was kind of like down here, and then a flex pipe. They cut it pretty much right at the manifold. You can't do that. It's right here is the fuel lines, and then it's firewall. So first step into this pro stock class is what I would like to call it. Doesn't matter what it's called, but pretty much it's a mixture between stock class and mod would be this car. There's more that I would love to do this for the pro stock class, but in theory this is where I have my problem. If they do inspection this year and inspect it thoroughly, which they should, they're not going to let me run this car in stock class because of that header. That's it. That's the only reason stopping me. I don't think they care at all about the fact that this has aftermarket steering wheel in it. I personally don't like big steering wheels. It's a personal preference of mine. I like these really small ones. Again, personal preference. Other than that header, that's it. There's nothing else on this car that's illegal that they know about, that they can see, that would be a problem, and that anybody else could see that would be a problem. Go ahead and inspect it. This is as stock as can be, other than that header. Anyways, so this car is starting to bend really bad in the front. This bumper's barely even held on. I don't really care, but if I could build this into the Pro Stock, what I would like to do is pretty much a whatever you really want to do to the cage, go for it. You know, make it as safe and as strong as you can structurally for like the bottom of the car and the sides and whatnot. And then firewall forward, connect it into your cage if you want. You know, I don't care too much. Again, that's the gray area. I don't, everybody can talk about it, but pretty much firewall forward. Other than, well, I mean, do what you can to make it look as stock as you possibly can, but like, build it. Stuff the frames. Add a custom bumper that is not crazy. Add your chrome bumpers. What I'm trying to do with this class, if I were to somehow get the right persons in talks and make this a class, would be to make it so that this car is pretty much on its last leg, and whether I want to fix it or somebody else does, it doesn't matter, but it's pretty much on the last leg and it's bending pretty bad. But I now can't race this car because of the header. And it did have a chrome bumper, but eventually I said screw it and cut it off, which I didn't care for, but I did. And now it has a stock, I think it's a Nissan bumper or something, I have no idea, but it's a stock bumper on it. Well, eventually this car is going to be junk simply because of a couple of different things that makes it illegal. I could go and find another exhaust manifold, I guess, and put it on this, but it's just a pain in the ass to deal with when it technically came this way. So anyways, per stock class rules, I could cut this out and rebuild the frame with, I believe that's 1/8 inch plate. I'd have to rebuild it, send it in, patch it however I need to, and send it to Johnny, which is promoter for USA. And it's his call. He might say, nope, I don't like it, and well, what do I do with the car now? I don't want to build this into a mod. I don't have the money to build it into a big mod. I already have one, but somebody in my shoes would be like, I don't got that kind of money. Now I got to go find another car because this one's kind of junk and I can't fix it. Same things with the rear ends. If you have Cavaliers, you know the rear ends will pull out. This one's already done it. That's why there's nothing in the back end anymore, because I had to make it work. You should be able to, in this Pro Stock class, and in theory, that's kind of where they help you out a little bit with fixing the rear ends. So if they fall out, you can patch them back together. Oh, the dog's gonna go crazy now, barking now. Anyways, so again, getting off track. If we can build firewall forward, build it how you need to, make it structurally sound, plate the frame, stuff the frame, plate the subframes, do what you need to. Also make this class a no tire rule class. Now that we're, you know, a little bit more on the modified side, you can change your front tires. I think that'd be cool. But be able to make it so this car can continue. Resheet the back half. I would just resheet it. I don't want to run bars across the thing and plate it with plate steel like we do with the mod cars. No, find another door, pull this off, put another door on, fine. Get some sheet metal from a washer and dryer you find on the side of the road. Okay, take the skin out and quickly weld it in. You know, whatever you can to keep the car looking as stock as possible, pretty much from firewall back. You know, rear ends, I mean, I would leave these alone, in my opinion. You can modify this how you want to bend it up and in and smush it in and keep that going. But by the time this is already smushing in and everything from getting hit all, pretty much the ass end's gonna be junk anyways. I would consider the rest of the car to be kind of junk anyways, so the car would be scrapped. Or that's when the transition goes from the front is already built. The sides are kind of built, a little bit. You can do whatever you want for cage material wise. Build it however strong you want. But pretty much here is going to get squished and destroyed. Let's say, all right, well, I got some more money now, and pull the doors off. You already should have some of the plating or the cage material in. Sheet this like you're supposed to for a mod. Cut the ass end off, build that into a mod, and now you have a cheaper built mod to run with this stuff. They're not running as many mods this year. They came out with the schedule. For USA, it's pretty much unchanged. But I know for, I think, Unique Motorsports and a few of the other promoters, they are changed and they don't have a whole lot. So I think if they were going to sadly get rid of this class for the mod, if they did a pro mod class like this, it's cheaper, it can go further, you can plate the front and do the front like I'm saying, and you can make these cars last. The point of this is to get people to have a car, put $500 into the car to build it and $500 to buy it, let's say. Build it cheap, go have fun for a season. It gets beat up, it gets destroyed, okay, halfway through the season, it keeps throwing axles, the front subframe is bent, whatever, okay, let's fix it, plate it, firewall forward, and now you can run it in pro stock class. It's a middle class between the two, and it only costs maybe a little bit more money just to fix it how we need to. I don't think there's a problem with that. Currently, I talked with our promoter. He doesn't want to add another class because of timing for the schedule. If we start at 7 o'clock with the 3 classes, stock, mod, and rear roll, there's not enough time for that many classes, which I understand. I understand completely. I just am thinking ahead on what to do for the future, and if there's spots where we can run these cars to make a class a little bit better, because we've ran no rear wheel drives in specific classes. I think it's usually the autocross races, to where we have a burnout which only lasts maybe an hour, and then you do the stock and the mod, and from 7 till like 5 o'clock, well, sorry, 7 till, I don't know, 10 o'clock maybe, we're already packed up and going home. Sometimes like 9:30. It's pretty boring for the fans to see just a short show. I'd rather have another class added at that point in time, such as this class, to be able to continue to have fun with it, to make a show better. That's what we're here for. At least that's what I'm here for. I could care less if I win another race. I'm just here to have fun, smash up some cars, fix them, have fun with a bunch of buddies, and continue to grow the sport. I've been in it. I didn't race for a few years, but you're always still in it. I don't know. I've been in this for since 2016, 9 years, almost 10 years, something like that. And I've watched it all my life and so on. But either way, that's kind of where I'm thinking. I don't know. That's where I'm going to see what they're going to do this year with this car, because I plan on running stock class this year. The mod car, that's kind of going off of the main topic, but the mod car, it pretty much needs the back half, at least on this side, fixed. And right now, financially and time-wise, I don't have that kind of time. Technically, this car's fixed and ready to go, other than I want to move my e-brake. I don't like it there. It needs to come closer to me, so I'll cut the center console off and move it where I want it. But my plan this year is to run this car. When it becomes kind of junky, I'll be working on that car already and have that as my backup car. When this one kind of just causing problems and I don't care anymore, I plan, I believe, to sell this car with the black one that's over there and get these two gone. I'm going to guess near the end of the season. It depends. If somebody says, hey, and sees this video, hey, I'll buy it for XYZ amount, I might be enticed to do so. If I were to sell it though, I'd probably, you know, I'd keep a few of my things in here. Keep the battery, cables. Well, this one's different. I'll leave the battery cables, I think, in this one, but I'll need my belts, probably the steering wheel. I can work something out with that. The box, and pretty much that's it. I'll leave any extra parts that came with this one, but pretty much that's where I'm at with this one. So, rambling, getting off topic, but that's what I think we should do with the Pro Stock class. Again, it can be called whatever. I just figured stock, a little bit better than stock, mod. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what everybody else has in mind, but I've had this on my mind for a year or two. Like I said, I talked with our promoter last year about it, and he wasn't for it just because of timing for specific races. We don't have that much time with all these different classes to add another class, so understandable, but I still think there's room for us to add it, and I kind of wanted to see what other people's opinions were and if there was any interest. I know there's a couple buddies of mine that I think are trying to start their own, they're going to be promoters for their own, I don't know what to call it, they're their own promoters. They're starting their own, so we'll see how things go. Maybe they'll see this and they'll go, hey, I kind of like that, and we can kind of go from there. They can figure out rules, but right now we're gonna see what they'll do. They'll let me race it this year. At this point, like I always do, I want to race more, but we just had our daughter, so I already have a daughter. We just had another one, so kind of running on empty at this point. So you won't really see a whole lot of videos. When I come up with something, I will. I probably am not tinkering too much with stuff right now, especially when it's cold, but in time. This car was supposed to be sold. It's kind of in limbo. The buddy of mine that was gonna buy it bought a Circle Track car, so I don't know. I haven't talked with him yet, but either way, doesn't matter. I have plans for everything, and anyways, long story. All right, so I guess throw down in some comments if you want of what you think. We can come up with some rules and get people talking about it. That's kind of the only reason why I'm posting this video. So I guess let's see what everybody has to say. I hope it's pretty positive, and maybe we can make another class.